See the pattern? Newspapers report Chris Murphy skipped 80% of his committee hearings, then uncover Murphy skipped paying rent and his mortgage till he was taken to court. Murphy gets elected to Congress, sits on the committee overseeing banks, and despite not paying his bills, gets another loan. Would you? That's why Murphy's attacking Linda.
All right. U.S. Senate candidate from Connecticut, Chris Murphy, in a showdown with his Republican challenger, Linda McMahon. Now, new reports indicate that Representative Murphy of Cheshire, Connecticut, he was late in paying a real estate tax bill in 2005, late in paying his car taxes 7 times, and sued by his landlord in 2003 for failing to pay rent on an apartment. Taxes on his home, they were paid 4 months late, and the car bills went unpaid for as long as 10 months. He eventually paid the bills with interest. Murphy also facing questions over a line of credit that he received after being sued in 2007 for defaulting on the mortgage of his home. McMahon's campaign accusing Murphy of using congressional position to obtain the credit line and has called on him to detail how the mortgage payments were missed. Personal finances. So both candidates have certainly been an issue in this campaign. Murphy criticizing McMahon. You can get in line for this one for failing to repay creditors from a personal bankruptcy in '76, and she reportedly was $1 million in debt at the time of the bankruptcy, and obviously now spending tens of millions of dollars on yet another race here. Okay.
Who you know, start with?
Yes, I think I'm starting with Mr. Simmons here, the congressman who has his own history with Linda McMahon and our good friend Chris Shays. In a primary, he said the following about Linda McMahon. Chris said, "I've never run against an opponent that I've respected less ever, and there are a lot of candidates I've run against. I don't believe that Linda McMahon has spent the time, the energy to determine what a senator really means. I think it's like the story of the emperor with no clothes. You have a candidate who's basically given the finger to all the editorial boards. She's not willing to come before you and respond to all your questions. Tell me how you really feel, Chris Shays." You're on record as not being a huge fan either of Ms. McMahon here. This thing now is a toss-up. In fact, Murphy's down a couple points if you look at the polls.
Well, look, you know, over the weekend, Keith Burris of the Manchester JI started right off in his editorial saying Democrat candidate Chris Murphy is losing the U.S. Senate race to Republican Linda McMahon. Candidates who define the opposition first usually win. Those who allow themselves to be defined usually lose. You know, whatever happened in my primary race with Linda McMahon, whatever happened with Chris Shays, these are the facts of the matter. She's dead even with this guy. She's, to use a wrestling analogy, she's either got him on the ropes or got him on the mat. He
knew he was going there.
He better get up quick.
The prevailing wisdom is, if you can get her in front of cameras in a debate, you're going to do pretty good, as long as you know your stuff. That's not really the platform she does well in. Is that his plan here? Hold on here until you get the debate?
Well, I don't know exactly what his plan is. Obviously, she has more money than he does. He has represented the fifth.
More money than just about everybody.
That's right. He's represented the 5th congressional district, so he's known in that district. She's done a statewide race in all 5 districts, statewide, and she began her Aunt B ads, which is what they're called, like Andy of Mayberry, his mother's Aunt B. The Aunt B ads early on and very consistently and very effectively. And he has either no money or inadequate amount of money to respond to those. So he is being defined by her at this stage of the game.
Anybody
she has a good shot of winning.
Andrew, right? That this is just the race they're watching in Connecticut. We know the race within margin in the U.S. Senate here, and this is one of the seats the Democrats weren't necessarily putting in the bank, but they were certainly hoping or counting on could help them keep the margin here, at least keep them in the majority.
Yeah, going into the cycle, they anticipated a win in Connecticut, and there's every reason to think that there would be. Obama's winning the state by double digits, and there are how many more Democrats in Connecticut than Republicans?
So affiliated,
5 or 6?
About 20% Republican, about 38% Democrat.
Okay, we're going to be right back, everybody. Stay with RFL. Stay with us.